Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So we have a majority draw between Jarrell Miller and Andy Ruiz. I can't complain about this. I mean, I thought maybe Miller had edged it. I don't know. It's a difficult one. If you put a gun to my head, I would say that Miller might have just edged this fight. But it's the type of fight, you could watch it tomorrow and you could have it the other way around. To start with, Ruiz was, with those quick hands of his and that tremendous accuracy, you kind of knew in the early rounds the hand speed was going to be too much for Miller. But Miller's job was to keep walking forward, to keep putting the pressure on, to keep that water running over that rock and eroding it. At the end of the first round, towards the end of the first round, Ruiz landed a fantastic combination, which actually did shake, especially the left hook shook Miller badly. I don't mean he was staggering all over the place, but it actually did buzz him, and it's very difficult to buzz Jarrell Miller because he's such a big lump. This was a battle of guys who were absolute, behemoths. I mean, 270-something, 274 was it for Ruiz, and 303 pounds, a svelte 303 pounds for Miller. And then the first, like I say, the first few rounds, okay. So Ruiz was winning them, but you could tell Miller was creeping closer and closer, and just that constant pressure was very, very telling. This was a 12-round fight, not a 10-round fight. So you could tell that Ruiz was going to have to really be on point for every minute of every round. And when you consider that he was out of the ring for 2 years, there was no room for ring rust here. Well, in the fourth round, Miller started to get very, very close and put some real pressure on Ruiz. When he got him on the ropes, he was letting his hands go, he was landing. Nothing wrong with Ruiz's jaw, we know that. It shows you how good Joshua's power is when he put Ruiz over in that fight just before Ruiz got up and chinned him, because Miller was landing some, real full-blooded whacks, and Ruiz wasn't going anywhere, and vice versa. I mean, Ruiz was early on; he landed some big wallops, and Miller took them well. But by the fifth round, Ruiz was looking really gassed, and Miller was coming on strong. It looked really ominous. I thought that Miller was able to probably was on his way to stopping Ruiz, unless Ruiz was able to get a second wind. Now, this is probably what cost Miller the fight, because in round 7, 8 maybe, Miller, for some reason, stopped putting that, smothering, stifling pressure on him. And Ruiz was able to let his hands go a bit more and suddenly find some sort of rhythm again and get that second breath, or at least half of a second breath. So that may have been what cost Miller the fight, thinking about it. And certainly the last third of the fight was sort of give and take. The thing about Miller was, as soon as he heard that 10-second clapper, he was letting his hands go. He was trying to pinch the rounds. I don't know if any of the judges were taken in by that. But there's no doubt that the guy who looked in better shape, the guy who put it this way, the guy who you would want to be if you were watching that fight, if you thought, if I could be one or the other, who would I want to be? It looked like you'd rather be Miller than Ruiz. Ruiz also had some abrasions under both eyes. His left eye was at the end of the fight was, quite swollen, not shut, but swollen. He also had a damaged hand. And a draw, I can live with that. To be honest with you, I can live with it. It wasn't a great fight. It was a grueling fight. It was an arduous fight, but it wasn't action-packed. Because they both got good chins, you weren't under the impression that one guy was going to suddenly unravel unless it was through exhaustion. And the thing about Miller is, I don't know if he's going to fail yet another PED test. You never know with him, do you? but he looked fine at the end of it. He didn't look gassed at all. But Ruiz certainly did. So a draw, it doesn't take either man forward, really. I suppose they could have a rematch, maybe, if the excellent Turkey fancies it. But not the greatest of fights, but at the same time, not bad. It was okay. It was okay. Anyway, what did you think of it? Did you watch it? If so, comments below. And thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button as well. And spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing because we want to build it up. Build it up. The channel is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Bye for now.